In this tutorial we are going over using and transposing formulas, including looking at the language and looking at CAS for it. This will be done on page 8 of your notes. The language. We've got certain language and ways that questions are asked with formulas. So usually speaking, the variable is, or the variable on the left, is the subject. The pronumeral on the right, or the pronumerals on the right, are the terms. For instance, in the formula A equals pi r squared, area of a circle, the subject is A, that's on the left-hand side, and it's in terms of R. This is important because you're often asked to find width in terms of length, or find the height in terms of radius and slant. You never know, okay? So you need to be able to say, this is what I'm finding, the subject, this is what it's in terms of. To calculate the value of a variable which isn't the subject of a formula, there are two methods to be able to do this. The first one is just to substitute any known values in, simplify it, solve it, and or solve it for the resulting unknown quantity or variable. The other option is to first rearrange it to make the required variable the subject, then to substitute in values. This is often the better case. If you've got to do more than one substitution. So for instance, if you're comparing, let's say, the width of something at a different height, I would rearrange to get width as the subject in terms of height, so that I could substitute in a number of different heights and not have to rearrange every single time. Either way, we can do this using CAS. It's using the same function as what we used at the very beginning in solving linear algebra. You might want to go back and have a look at that. It's the only difference is that we're not actually going to be using numbers. We don't need to use numbers. We can actually use pronumerals. We're going to have a look at an example of this. You just need a general document. It doesn't really matter. It just needs to be a calculator, like this one. Remember, the solve function is found in the menu, algebra, solve. And if, for instance, we're after solving, let's just get something up. Fraction, control divide, 1 divided by A, which is minus another fraction, 1 divided by B, which is equal to another fraction, 1 divided by C minus 2. Always go comma. Oh, see how our comma is down the very bottom of the fraction? So that's a mistake. We'll have to take that out. Our cursor is at the bottom of the fraction. We need to leave that, and we need to go to next to the fraction, comma, and we are going to solve for, in this particular case, C. We could solve for A if we wished, or for B, but I'm choosing C. Press enter, and we have a solution. Now, it may not be the world's prettiest solution, and in fact, if you did this by hand, that may not actually be the solution that you get. However, it is a perfectly correct solution, and according to the calculator, it is the most simplified solution that we have. In the CAS, that's about all you can do as far as transposing formulas. You can use the store function. There will be a separate tutorial for that. Now, back to the notes. Let's look at some examples by hand though. So that's the calculator. Let's look at the examples by hand. Starting with this one here. Example 1O. Find the value of the letter in the parenthesis. I can't say it, I'm sorry. essentially we're just talking about those brackets. So we're looking at trying to find the value of r from this original equation of r equals p plus q. Given that we know what p and q are, our first step here would be a substitution. So we're going to get r is equal to our p value, which is 12, plus our q value, which is -3, which means that r will be equal to 12 minus 3, or 9. Box our solution. Moving down. In 1p, we're asked to make the symbol indicated the subject of the formula. The symbol indicated is this r that's here. Now, you need to be careful in realizing that there is a difference between a capital R and a lowercase r. Not only is there a difference in the equation, you need to be very careful if you use your CAS calculator, because it will not recognize the difference between a capital and a lowercase. You need to use a different variable. So for instance, you could say, instead of R, or capital R, sorry, I'll use S. That will work in your calculator, but otherwise it won't recognize the difference. Now, to solve this by hand, I'm actually just going to start it over here. My first step is going to be to multiply both sides by this entire denominator. I don't like denominators, or I don't like fractions, so where possible I try to get rid of them. This leaves me with v r minus r, which is equal to the numerator of that last fraction, which is 2r. I'm going to expand this bracket, vr minus vr, one capital, one lowercase, equal to 2r. Subtracting this capital V, capital R from both sides, which will leave me with capital V, lowercase r, is equal to 2 lots of capital R minus V, capital R. Divide by this negative V. Divide by negative V. And I'm again going to go over, so drawing a line to indicate a new lot of working. I'm left with lowercase r by itself and a fraction of 2 uppercase R minus V uppercase R divided by negative V. I could box that and leave it, however, at this level of maths, you should be aware that having a negative on the denominator of a fraction is not mathematically nice. Alright, it's not neat. So what we can do instead is move that negative to the top and multiply everything inside by it. So I've just taken that numerator and I'm multiplying it by negative by moving it from the bottom of the denominator. Just simplifying that a little tiny bit is going to leave me with VR minus 2R divided by V. You could box that again. In fact, to get full marks, I believe there's no problem with that. Just box that. I am going to go one step further because I believe it's actually what your calculator will give you out. What you can do is you can recognize here that I've got a V divided by a V. Okay, but that's not going to remove the division of V from the negative 2R. It's just going to mean that out the front here I can have R by itself, which is from here, minus 2 lots of R divided by V. That is what I'm going to box. Again, we didn't have to go that far. I would have accepted, at this level, I would have accepted this as a solution. I would have probably penalized you for giving me this as at this level, you should be recognizing to change that. Done. 1Q. Find the value of the unknown symbol in the following. So our first step is going to be substitute in the value that we know. We know A equals 6. So we can say six is equal to 90 2n minus 4 divided by n. Let's get rid of that n. Let's multiply both sides by n. I'm going to go to a whole new line of working, a column of working. Leaves me with 6n equal to 90. Well, let's expand that at the same time. Let's expand the bracket or the numerator. Gives me 180n minus 360. I'm going to add 360 to both sides. So plus 360. And at the same time, I'm also going to minus 6n. Plus 360 minus 6n. It's essentially going to be to switch the 360 and the 6n, which is going to leave me with 360 equal to 174n. Divide by the 174 and you will get n equal to 360 divided by 174. Never leave a fraction unsimplified. My n solution, n equal to 60 divided by 29. Box a solution, and that question is done. 1R. This is a little bit of a short answer sort of question. Two rectangles, each with dimensions c centimeters times b centimeters, are used to form a cross as shown. The arms of the cross are all of equal length. Find the perimeter, p centimeters, of the cross in terms of b and c. The perimeter of this. Well, the perimeter of each of the individual rectangles is given by perimeter of all the rectangles is given by b. Well, there's two of them because we've got a second side. So 2 lots of b and 2 lots of c. However, that's only one rectangle and I've got 2 rectangles. So let's add another 2b and another 2c. The part of the rectangle or the part of the cross that we don't include is this very center part here. We're not going to include those 4 lines. Well, each of these lines is the same width or distance as the width of the rectangle, which is c centimeters. I have 4 of them, so 4c is what I need to remove from what I've already calculated. I.e., I am now going to minus 4c. I have removed that middle cross from the perimeter of all my rectangles. When I simplify this, I get 2b plus 2b is 4b, and 2c plus 2c is 4c, but then I'm going to minus 4c. So it's actually, in fact, like saying we're going to cancel out this with this one here. I.e., my n solution for this question is p equals 4b. The next part, it says find the area of the cross in terms of b and c. Well, this is basically exactly the same as what we've previously done. We're after the area in terms of b and c. Well, the area of one rectangle is going to be b times c. I've got 2 rectangles, so the area of the 2 rectangles is b times c. However, is 2bc, sorry. However, I don't want this portion here, or I don't want one of those portions anyway. Okay, I need to remove one of those, which means I need to remove c squared. i.e. C times C, which means I am going to be left with here the area of the two rectangles, so 2BC, minus 1 lot of C squared. That is the area, sorry, I've got in red, that is the area of the cross in terms of B and C. The last one is to find B in terms of A and C. B in terms of A and C is a rearrangement of this formula here, where I have A and I've got C and I've got B. I just need to rearrange it. Starting with that, A equals 2BC minus C squared. The only B I have is here. My first step is going to be to remove anything I can add and subtract, i.e. that minus C squared can actually be removed straight away. I'm going to minus or plus, C squared to both sides. This is going to leave me with A plus C squared equals to 2BC, new line of working. Notice that I have 2 times B times C. Recall that in multiplication, order does not matter, so I can rearrange that and say that's like 2C times B, which means I can divide by 2C. Dividing by 2C on both sides. This leaves me with B by itself, which is awesome because that's what we're trying to find, and we want it in terms of A and C. We're going to have a fraction of A plus C squared divided by 2 lots of C. That would be my end answer, as it is B in terms of A and C. Box my solution and I'm done. That is the end for reviewing linear equations. New tutorials will be up for the next topics soon.